many of the people in this room have dreamt with me. I'm looking at two of them right now, and helped me along the way. I have a lot of people to thank, but let me start a little bit by talking about what the care plan is and the services that we provide. So in my former life, I worked for a wonderful company that provided caregivers for seniors. I've had the opportunity to work with over 1,000 families in my 9 years in the field, and prior to that, I was a certified nursing assistant, so I provided one-on-one care to people in nursing homes. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, the uglier of health and aging, and it really struck me over the years that this is not rocket science. This can be figured out and it can be done better if we take a more proactive approach to our health and aging and understand that the system does not provide for the individual needs of each of us. It's a system, it's a one-size-fits-all. Whether it's a hospital, a nursing home, trying to figure out your long-term care needs on your own is going to be much more difficult because we each have our own areas of expertise. So there are people in this room who have studied for a long time and are fantastic doctors. There are people in this room who are attorneys, who are architects, any number of things. But when something happens, that knowledge does not mean that you're in a position to feel confident when it comes to health and aging. So if your parent has a fall, you may feel like a novice or like you're in danger of actually hurting them in some situations. So one of the goals of my company is to make health and aging feel more accessible to people. So feel more accessible and have it not be so scary. So demystify the aging process, because it is a process. So I talk a lot about thinking about from retirement to end of life. What are your needs going to be? Do you have all your ducks in a row? Have you taken the time to really consider what you want to have happen, rather than just hoping it'll go away or that your partner or loved one will make the right decision, but they'll have no clue about what you would have wanted to have happen if you've never had those conversations. You're just going on a luck and prayer. So part of my process is to have a 2 to 5 hour consultation with people for a care mapping session. It includes every aspect that you could possibly anticipate about your aging, or if you're dealing with a chronic illness, about the nature of that chronic illness. So it talks about your medical history, your medications, your medical providers. All of that health information is contained in this document, as well as who your attorneys are, what your financial holdings are, so that if a point comes where you can't advocate and make those decisions for yourself, your family and friends can easily find, okay, this is where the financial power of attorney needs to go to make sure we can pay for the caregiver so this person can actually get better, rather than hope for the best and not realize you have all those assets. It also includes a support team. My services are specifically directed and in support of LGBTQ individuals and communities. And what that means is that we don't always have the benefit of families of origin to take care of us. We may not have any family of origin around us. We may have created for ourselves families of choice, friends, loved ones who care dearly and want to be a part of our lives, but don't know when we get sick how to bridge that gap, how to say, hey, I'm going to step in and help here because I know I can have an impact and I know that's what you need, even though you're not asking me. So the support team piece in this document is really important and dear to my heart because it engages people in the ways that you identify. So if I say, I love my parents and my mom is here, but I want my sister to make my medical decisions because we've had the most amount of conversations around it, and I know that she will do exactly as I would want. Or if I'm sick and I'm going to say I want Vic to come over and just hang out for a couple hours and watch movies and eat pizza that hopefully is healthy and just laugh and forget I'm sick. That's in here. So it's not people scrambling and trying to find the best solution when you can't really say, hey, I need help. And then it also goes through from retirement to end of life, the really practical tools you need. So where are you going to live? Is your current residence going to allow you to continue to age there and age in comfort? Or are you going to, in these Chicago winters, be wishing you lived 3,000 miles south and could have done that if you had thought about it ahead of time? What agencies do you want to care for you? one of the things that I've been talking about tonight, because November is Long-Term Care Month, and there's a lot of aspects to long-term care support services. One of them is a nursing home, and I think that's kind of the most familiar sort of facility for people to get their minds around. Nursing home care annually for a private room costs $83,000. Right.
A year.
Right. I don't know about you, but if I'm looking at living in a nursing home for 3, 4, 5, 10 years, that's the biggest investment I'm going to make ever in my life. I have talked a lot tonight about if you think about aging in relationship to other decisions that you may make, like buying a house, having children, purchasing a car, and you consider the time and energy that you put into research, to testing a vehicle, to looking at houses, that can take a year or longer. And you're really deeply invested and engaged in each step of the process. Aging should be no different. You're going to spend more money, you're going to spend more emotional time and emotional resources, and it's going to be a lot more stressful if you don't have it figured out ahead of time. So, the care plan, ideally, is in place before something happens, but for those who haven't done the care mapping process, there's consultation and management services for the immediate. So if you find yourself with an urgent situation, doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter what you're going through, an hour consultation may make all the difference for you to be able to advocate for yourself. I have the wealth of experience that I've been able to glean over these last 9 years, and I certainly want to be able to put that to use within my community and beyond. So services are able to be conducted in person here in Chicago, but I've worked with people as far-reaching as Arizona and Puerto Rico by phone and Skype, so don't hesitate to contact me. For the month of November, because it is Long-Term Care Month, long-term care services. Oh no, we had such good weather today. But long-term care services, so my care mapping services are 50% off. So thank you for coming tonight first. Thank you so much.